Hey everybody, welcome back to Kelly's Creations. I'm so glad you're here. Today we're going to shake things up a little bit. I'm going to go back to my roots here. I'm going to go back to what I used to do when I started my YouTube channel, which was a lot of signs. But we're going to go easiest to hardest, okay? So of course this one is the easiest. It's just taking a palette from Dollar Tree, painting it white, going into your favorite scrapbook, scrap paper, however you have it with your stash, and just using some school glue to attach it. Now, what I did is I put this on the palette. I kind of used my fingers to go in the grooves and then ripped where it went into the grooves. So, this video is going to be different kind of fall decor. Everybody uses the typical, fall palette. A lot of orange, a lot of brown, a lot of yellow, which is beautiful, don't get me wrong. But you can do something different and use blues. So this whole video, I am going to be using my blue scrapbook. And it has such beautiful scrapbook paper in it. Oh my gosh. That's my palette for the video. So everything, you always have that one decor piece that you want to put on a stand. This is the stand right here. This is the easiest out of all 5 DIYs. Taking that palette, putting that on there, and I'm going to use some half rounds for the feet. I love having my decor different heights, so I thought this would be so cute just to make a little palette stand for that item that I want to sit taller. What's great about all of these pieces is they're all the same palette colors. They all go together. You can make the cutest little section of your home with all of these pieces. Now I do take my Tim Holtz Distress ink and I go over all of the edges because I gotta distress. I just got to. It's an addiction. If you don't want it distressed, leave it white. It's always totally up to you and your personal style. What's great about all of these videos is almost everything came from Dollar Tree except for the scrapbook paper and the distress ink. Few little things did not come from Dollar Tree. But look at that little platform or stand or whatever you want to call it. So cute, and it's going to blend in so well with all the other DIYs I'm making in this video. Now, this little cinnamon mullein spice jar, how cute is that? I want to say this came from Dollar Tree. I've had this in my stash forever. It might have come from Dollar General in the Dollar Tree section though, so I'm not sure, but I know you can find these. So first things first, I took off their bow and I took off the cinnamon sticks. Here's the blues book I was talking about. This book is just simply gorgeous with all the different designs and the blues, and oh my gosh, it has tags in it. It's absolutely amazing. So I flipped through the pages and I found a page that had these numbers on it. And I thought that would be really nice to put on this bottle. So all I do is take it and kind of use my fingers to kind of smash down the sides where I want to line it up. Then I just grab a pen and I draw on the outside. Make sure it's facing the right way. So if the image I'm drawing on right now is going to be the image that's glued to the front. So I've learned by making many mistakes doing this, put your front facing the back of the paper. Does that make sense? I hope so. So once I had it all cut out, I am just going to use a glue stick from Dollar Tree and put a ton of glue stickiness to the face of my little jar. Then I'm going to take the scrapbook paper and I'm going to just smash it right on there so it covers it up. You can go one step further and you can also color the sides if you don't like them brown. I use my handy dandy little roller tool and a little bit of sandpaper, and yep, there it is. How cute. Sorry for my finger smashing my button on my phone. Now, Dollar Tree also sells fabric, and I found this fabric, and I thought all of these pieces would be great with rag bows, or at least that's what I call it. When you take some fabric and I cut just a little bit at the ends and then rip, rip, rip. How cute. Of course, for fall, I have to use raffia. So I put my rag bow strips down. I add some raffia. I take a string of raffia to tie all of it together. That way you see the raffia in the middle and it kind of blends in. On every single one of these pieces except for the first one, add in that bow just completes this. Oh my gosh, so cute. So I add my little ragamuffin bow, and then I'm also going to add back the twine with the beads hanging down that originally came on the piece because it was pretty stinking cute and I thought it deserved to go back on. So I am going to hot glue that right to the center. Easy peasy. Oh my goodness. But I absolutely love this jar. Oh my gosh, I'm calling it a jar. Yeah, and it fits perfectly on my little stand I made. Look how cute that is. So for $1 and some fabric, this whole piece, if you added up all the little embellishments, maybe $2 to change your decor. I think these blues are gorgeous. I think you can use blue for fall, just like you can use blue for Christmas. So DIY number 3, we're going to go into a different scrapbook, roses and laces. And I got these pumpkins from Dollar Tree, and it's a twofer because there's 2 pumpkins if you can get them separated. I'm not worried about ripping the plaid because we're going to be refacing this anyway. So with a little muscles, I ripped those pumpkins off. I went into my roses and laces scrapbook paper because I knew it had this dark kind of burlap scrapbook paper inside of it, and at first that's what I was going to do, but I decided to go a little bit lighter. When I found the paper that was in my head, the other side of this paper is gorgeous. It's lighter white with lace. I thought that was so pretty. That will look so good with the blue. So you see the burlap now. Voila, flip it over. Look how cute that design is. And again, I'm going to just use a glue stick, put a lot of stickiness on that pumpkin, and I did the same thing for both pumpkins. Cut it out the same way, but I didn't want to bore you. You all know how to use scissors. So I cut out 2 patterns. I'm going to glue both patterns, 1 to each pumpkin. Now these I do come if I'm a little bit long after I roll it out and really get that stuck on there. If I'm a little bit long, I do use sandpaper to go around all of the edges. That just kind of cleans it up a little bit. You don't have any paper overhang, and it's perfect. So now I got those 2 beauties. We're going to set those aside. We're going to work on the smaller ones. That's where I go into my blues scrapbook, and I had already used a little chunk of this, but we're going to use that to cover the smaller ones. And same process. It doesn't get any easier than this, I tell you, to change your decor for just some couple dollars here. You can change it up, use a different color for fall. Oh my gosh, I can see some white pumpkins with this display, maybe some blue and white flowers with some of the typical fall, maybe greens and browns. Yeah. Oh, so pretty. So I got off track, but we're going to take the blues. We're going to cut it out. We're going to glue it down to each pumpkin, cut around it, use sandpaper, all that good stuff to get these 2 pumpkins ready. While I'm getting these 2 pumpkins ready, I'm going to let you know that if you've ever visited my description box, I always link everything. I even have this roller down in there. I link the scrapbook paper. Almost everything I use, I link. If I buy it from Dollar Tree, I let you know. But I am an Amazon affiliate, and all that means is if you click on my link, I get a teeny tiny commission from your purchase. So what I did finally is I converted all those links that I have in my description box, and I have an Amazon store now. So now I'm just going to have one link down in the description box for you to click, and I've broken it into categories: favorite craft supplies, most items used, and you can see the pictures. This makes it so much easier for you. Instead of just clicking on a link, now you get to see it. So I hope that helps you all, and I will let you know like everything that I use if I got it off of Amazon. So just want to let you guys know that I finally got my store. So now I am putting the two big pumpkins together. You see me draw that line. That line makes life easy. Once you have your pumpkins where you want, draw a line on the back. Now you know exactly where to put the hot glue. A lot of times we guess, it overlaps, you get glue on the side. If you put them together and draw that line, you have a section where you know to put the hot glue. Easy peasy. So now I'm going to take those pumpkins and I'm going to put them right back together. After I have it where it lines up with the line I drew, I'm going to stand them up just to make sure that it's level and that they will stand, because I do want these to be able to stand on their own. I don't know why I always push on my projects. Like, it's glued. It's going to stick together. You don't need to push. But I always do. It's just habit. So now I'm going to take my small pumpkins. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line them up where I want them together. I'm going to flip them over. I'm going to draw that line. And now I know where to put my hot glue. I'm going to glue the two pumpkins together, and then I'm going to glue them both to the bigger pumpkins. Now, once I have the two smaller pumpkins together, I'm not going to draw the line like I did here to attach it to the big pumpkins, because I don't want ink to show on my project. I'm just going to eyeball this one. I know I want the glue primarily on the bottom of these pumpkins, so that's what I do. So I put a bunch of glue, I stand it up to glue them together. Like I said, I want to make sure this will stand. There's me pushing again. I don't know why I do that. All of my projects today are going to be using this cloth from the Dollar Tree and the same bow. I want them to be cohesive pieces that you can put all of these pieces together. So I'm going to make the bow the same way I did for the bottle. I'm going to cut some slats. I'm going to rip. I'm going to add raffia and make a cute little ragamuffin bow. So I got my bow done, and this is my favorite part. This is adding the bow to the piece, because I just think that's what really makes this pop. Those ragamuffin bows, that's what I call them, are so cute. Oh my gosh, I love it. And once you put it on the piece, it just finishes it, and just too much cuteness, I tell ya. So I put my bow at the top, and that's it. DIY number 3 is done. So simple and easy. And look how cute that turned out. Oh, wait till the end. You're going to see all of these pieces together. DIY number 4, using the same book the blue scrapbook, I am going to make a sign. Oh my gosh, I haven't made a sign in so long. So I had these signs in my stash. I have like a lot of Dollar Tree signs in my stash, but I got a little burnt out on making signs. So I thought, let's go in there and grab a few and make some signs. So this one's really easy because the backing comes out just like a picture frame, which makes it so easy to use. I took that red rose off of it, and I'm not worried about the ripped paper because I'm going to be refacing it. I skimmed through my book to see what kind of background I wanted. Once I had the background, I ripped it off, and this one's going to be a little different because I'm not going to use school glue. Because it was a much bigger surface, I thought, well, actually, I'm using school glue. I'm not using a glue stick. Okay, here we go. So I thought it'd just be easier using the glue. I put it down, I grabbed a brush, and I made sure it was really even coat going all along this board. Then I'm just going to flip it over. I'm going to try to match it to the corners because then I have more paper left over, not wasting. Plus it makes it a lot easier when you only have to cut 2 sides instead of 4. So I'm going to put something heavy on that. I'm going to let it dry. Come back, roll it out a little bit. Make sure it's all nice and smooth. Absolutely love my new roller. I play with it a lot. And then I'm just going to cut each side. That is in my store if you want to take a look at it. And now you only have to cut 2 sides, which makes life so much easier. Again, if you cut too big, it really doesn't matter with this project because it's going back in the frame. So you really don't have to sand any edges. Just put it back in the frame. If the paper is too long, it'll fold up and it'll be hidden. So what I did learn about this is the hanger on this is going the wrong way for me. So if you take something flat, a butter knife, or I used a screwdriver, it pops right off and you can push it where you want it. I did push it crooked, but that's okay. So what I did is I just pushed it into place and I flipped it over. I took my hammer, kind of went over it to really get those teeth really back into the cardboard. Worked perfect. Now my hanger's in the right spot. So I had one of these pumpkins. I'm pretty sure it either came from Dollar Tree or Dollar General. It came on a base, so I had to take that base off. And yay, look how easy that little, it's not even burlap. I don't know what it is. It's really cute, but not for this project. Flipped it over. We are not going to use the glittery side. We're going to use the flat side. The glittery side will actually be glued down to the sign so you won't see it. So I was kind of brainstorming right now of how I wanted. I didn't want them all to be the same. So using this scrapbook paper, I'm going to cut it down where I knew the length was perfect. Then I got a sheet of more solid blue. For the solid blue, I'm ripping stripes. I'm ripping strips. Now, for the whiter piece, I'm kind of doing zigzag rips with my finger, kind of going in and out, in and out, in and out, so that it's different than the blue. I'm going back to my glue stick, and I'm going to put glue down. I'm just going to start layering these blue strips down. I do not care if the white shows. That adds to it. If you don't want the white showing, make sure you fully cover it with the blue. So we're going to add blue, blue, blue. And on top of that, we're going to come back in with the zigzaggy ripped beige. It's pretty much beige. I think it's beige. And we're going to keep doing this until the pumpkin is filled up. What is really neat about this, and I really didn't know it till the end, it kind of makes like almost like an optical illusion. In my mind, doing the strips, I was mimicking the ridges that you see on a pumpkin. But when I put this all together, it kind of makes a optical illusion with this pumpkin that is really neat. So again, still gluing, glue, 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 all the way to the end. Come in, fill it over the top with the beige. Okay, we're all glued down. Let it dry. Come in with scissors and cut as close as you can, going all around the pumpkin. And again, you can always use sandpaper to really get the little pieces that you can't quite get with scissors and get it all nice and perfect. Now I'm going to take these little squares, the wooden squares from Dollar Tree, and I don't want this pumpkin setting flat against the frame. I want it lifted up away from it. So that's where these little squares come in perfect. I just put little dollops of glue. I glue 4 of these squares down to the back of the pumpkin. Once I have them all glued down, now I'm going to put hot glue on each square, and I'm going to center this pumpkin in the middle of the frame. It's going to be raised, and that's probably between the ripping and the background. I think that's where I see like it kind of plays tricks with you. It's almost like Find the Pumpkin. It's so cute. Again, I'm going to make a ragamuffin bow. And my grandma used to always say ragamuffin. And when I was ripping this, it just brought back memories of her saying ragamuffin, my little ragamuffin. So yeah, so I call them my ragamuffin bows. Again, the same way that I did the other bows so that they all match. And I'm going to catty corner my bow on the pumpkin. I don't want this right in the middle. I kind of just want it kitty cornered on its side. I think that's so cute. I just love these projects. I had the idea for using the blue for fall, but I really didn't realize how much I was going to fall in love with this. Because I'm usually just like everybody else, you know, standard fall colors, which are gorgeous. But adding a little bit of blue, oh my gosh. See what I mean? It kind of looks like, I don't know, giving out like an optical illusion here. So cool. Let me know so far which one's your favorite. I'm asking you this question now before I get to the last one, because the last one most definitely by far is my favorite. And we're heading into that one right now. So using one of the trucks. This actually was a Valentine's truck. How can you tell? Maybe all the red glitter and hearts. Oh my goodness, has had a lot of glitter on it. Luckily, the front of this peels off so nice until you get to the end. It's always those 2 little pieces that don't want to come off. I am going to coat this with Mod Podge. This board can suck it up sometimes. I did do 3 coats. I let one dry and I came back in and I did another coat. So using the same fabric, you want to let your Mod Podge dry, put the fabric over the area. I did not have any parchment paper. That's probably the best thing to use. I had wax paper. It worked perfectly as well. And I'm going to go over the whole sign using my heat press. You want your heat press on full strength, maximum heat. And you're just going to, I always go kind of, I know I sped up the video, but I do actually go slow. I want to get all of the air bubbles out. I want it to lay flat, no wrinkles. I even come in without the wax paper and go over it one more time. You know it's stuck when you go to peel away and you do not see board. It's such an easy little process. Oh my gosh. What's funny is I actually used 1 piece of fabric for this whole project. So right now, this DIY I actually did first. So the extra I'm cutting off, it was what I used for all my little ragamuffin bows. this was my first project, but it was my favorite. It's probably not the hardest, but the more detailed. It took longer. So that's why it's at the end of the video. So I'm trimming up, but I am not using sandpaper. I love the frayed edges. So yeah, I'm not coming in. I'm leaving the way I cut it. You can kind of see it has real hint of frayed edges around this truck. Me personally, I thought that was adorable. It was country. I loved it. If you don't like it, use sandpaper. You can get all of it smooth. You can kind of see the gist of the truck. You can see where the back is, the wheels. You get the gist of it. So we're going to build a country truck for fall. Now, these wood rounds, I was going to say I got them off Hobby Lobby, but I didn't. I did get them off Amazon. I went in my wood round package and I found 2 that would work for wheels. I couldn't find my wood glue to save my life. So I thought, well, let's try using school glue. I don't know if it'll fill it in or not, but right now you see me using that because I looked everywhere. I probably organized my room and I put it in a great spot that I can't find now. How many of us do that? Yes, all the time. So these wood rounds are going to be my wheels. I didn't have 2 that were perfectly the same size. So one is just a hint bigger than the other one. So I put the bigger one in the back. And I'm just going to use hot glue and I'm going to glue these down to the truck where the wheels would be. I do this on both of my little wood round wheels. So I got the wheels. I'm going to go and grab a couple of tags. Actually, I'm going to use 4 of them. I have these wooden tags that I bought in bulk. And that is going to be the window of I guess the driver's side door here. So, of course, I still couldn't find my wood glue to fill in those gaps. I couldn't find my spackle. That's what I really wanted to use. I had lost everything. Oh my gosh. But I'm not worried about these circles. They will be covered. This wooden block came from Dollar Tree in the wood section, and that's going to go on our truck too. So yay, guess what guys, I found my wood glue finally. So I am going to glue, at first I was only using 2, then I came up with the idea to use 4. So I put my wood glue down, I'm going to glue 2 of these together to make this thicker. And I just glued opposite holes so that you could actually see the wood through the hole. Like I said, I'm not worried about these. They will be covered with the bow. So I glued 2 of them down. I add some clips, set these aside to dry. Okay, once those are drying for that block of wood I showed you, and that comes from Dollar Tree, I took that Tim Holtz Distress ink pad. I went around the edges and I did go in front on the face too, because I was trying to go around the edges and then kind of just have a hint of it in front. But I kind of went a little too far and got too much on the front. So I ended up just taking that pad and going all over the front, which is fine. I like the different colors. I like some of the wood is light, some is dark. I like that variation. I thought that worked well. And yeah, I was trying, not really. Here's where I probably just go, okay, we're just going to cover the whole thing. I do suggest wearing gloves if you do this because that ink got on my hands and, I can't get it off. So yeah, you might want to use gloves. So that is going to be the center of the door. And I'm just going to hot glue that piece of wood right down. So cute. I love this country truck. All of you that commented which one was your favorite so far, when this one is done, I want you to tell me in the comments if you changed your mind. Okay, so like I said, we're going to kind of eyeball this, glue it where the door would be. We're kind of putting the truck back together using different wood pieces. So That's my plan. I grabbed my craft sticks, the really skinny ones, and I'm going to use that distress ink, and I'm going to put that on a craft stick, and I'm going to put it above the back wheel where the bed of the truck would be. I was not about to cut this board down, so I knew I needed to improvise. So when I covered it all in fabric, I knew see, this is where the hearts were on that. I knew I was going to have to cover that up. But I wanted this to show where the bed of the truck was, and that's what I'm doing right now. So I glued the craft stick down, and now we're going to keep on going, keep on a trucking. So these little wood rounds, you get so many in a package from Dollar Tree. I thought it would be cute to glue one down in the front. That's going to mimic the headlight. How stinking cute is that? Then I took a bunch of them and glued them down where the hearts were. So I'm just going to fill up that whole area with these wood rounds, and that's going to mimic the truck carrying logs. We're going to even go one step further with these. All I did was I kept kind of putting one where two meet, if that makes sense. So when you get to the top, you're going to have to put hot glue on the side of the left one, on the side of the right one, and put that wood round down so it sticks to both pieces. And then when the next one, you're going to have to go on the bottom of the left, on the bottom of the right, and on the side of the piece you just put. Just make sure these are all together here. All right, so my handy dandy wood markers, which I love, I use that to color the tags. Now these I said was going to be the window of the truck. So I wanted it to be kind of different wood colors. See, like it's not all the same, which is so neat, but we're going to do something else with that window as well. So right now I'm just gluing these down. It took two to make a proper window size. These wood scorch markers are so stinging cool. Oh my gosh. So you take the marker, and wherever you want it to be darker, you just draw. So right now I'm taking the marker, I'm drawing all around the edges of those wood rounds. Now you take a form of heat. I used my heat gun. You can use a hair dryer on high heat, and you're going to go over where you drew, and it starts getting darker. I found these last year. I'm obsessed with them. And I wanted certain ones to be just a little darker, and I went a little fatter with my lines. So you see me going over it again using my heat gun, and you can see just the dark lines appear around each log. I think that makes it look more realistic and not so one note. I also do this on the headlight. I just kind of make a half moon on the front and with the wood scorch marker, and then I come in with my heat and kind of heat that up too. I know a headlight would be bright, but this is a country truck, so my headlight is dark. So for my windows, I went and got my acrylic black paint out, and I'm going on the inside, leaving a wood edge. At first I was gonna leave these wood. That's why I colored the whole thing. But then I didn't like the way that was looking, and I thought it would be better just having a wood frame, but having the inside be black, almost like you could see in. So yeah, I just kind of freehanded a square, leaving the wood frame. And what is next? Oh my gosh, I love this. Oh, that's right. You can do this part. You can skip this part if you're tired of having words on everything, don't do this part. But Dollar Tree had these really cool autumn sayings. And I went with Hello Autumn. I'm going to put that on the door. Before that, I came in, once my black was dry, I came in with just a little bit of white and just did some highlighting on this window, just to kind of jazz it up and make it pop a little bit. You see a little bit of this once I add the bow, but I just thought that would be, I wasn't sure at this point how much you were going to see, and I just think adding these little white highlights makes that window so much cuter. So I do go all around the window. I'm going to use craft glue to attach the words Hello Autumn onto the door because it will dry clear, and I didn't want to burn myself trying hot glue. I didn't want to see hot glue. Craft glue was the way to go. And I am not going to put any marker on the words. I'm going to leave those beautiful, natural, just the way they are, because the back wood piece is dark enough, and I think that's a beautiful contrast. So now I'm going to make me a ragamuffin bow. Same way I made all of the other bows, by cutting little slits and then pulling them apart with my hands. I am adding raffia and tying it in the center as well, just like the other ones, with the raffia to keep the bow together. Once I had my bow made, I decided to glue it down above the windows of the truck. I think at first I was actually going to put it by the logs. I just think this is cuter. I don't know. I didn't like it by the logs. I think it took too much away from the piece, but I really love that bow above the window. So you can kind of see the highlights. I wanted my strands, a couple of them, to lay where I wanted them to lay, so I just used just a little bit of hot glue, and I glued a couple strands of the bow down. That way they laid exactly where I wanted them to lay. I am loving this truck. Oh my gosh, this is my favorite out of the 5, and I really like the other 4, but this truck is my favorite. So I needed to still work on those holes on the bottom of the wheels. I used hot glue and, not hot glue, I used the wood glue, and I actually pulled a couple pieces of cotton off of a Q-tip and kind of filled those holes in. It actually worked out pretty good since I didn't have any sawdust. Is usually what I use, wood glue and like sawdust that I keep. I didn't have any. So then I went over them with a wood marker, the lightest one I had. I wanted it to kind of just look like a knot in the wood. To finish this piece off, I'm going to use 2 of those little wood rounds from Dollar Tree as hubcaps, and I'm going to glue those down to the center of the wheel. And now you have a beautiful rustic country truck for fall, and I'm obsessed with this truck. This one's my favorite for sure. Let me know in the comments below which one was your favorite. Which one did you like the best? I do come in on those wood rounds and do the same thing I did with the ones up top. I use my wood scorch marker, went around the edges, and then used my heat gun to make those lines turn black. So cute. You guys are the best. I just want to do a shout out to my existing subscribers. You guys are amazing. I love you all so much. By your likes, your comments, your shares, everything I ask you to do to help my channel out. I have seen tremendous numbers recently, and it's all because of you. So keep it going. It's free to hit subscribe, like, free to make a comment, good or bad. I accept all comments. And share this with your friends if you think you have a friend that would love this video. I am going to show you my truck, and then I'm going to bring all of the pieces back to show you how wonderful they all look together. So, do you think you would like using blue decor mixed in with your fall decor? Do you decorate for fall? Would this be something you could use to decorate? Maybe do decorate for Thanksgiving, because that's pretty much fall decor as well. Let me know. I want to hear all about it. I love you guys. I will see you next Tuesday. I hope you have a blessed and most wonderful week. Bye, y'all.